The first item on our agenda, and I bet you guys know what an agenda is, it's the order we're going to do things. First item is to call the roll. Bonnie, would you do so?
Larry Kaveen,
Here?
Dan Choi,
Here.
Jackie Ford,
Here.
Willard Hook,
Here.
Paul Redlinski is absent this evening, Molly Ansari,
Here.
Stephanie Bellino,
Here.
Thank you. The next item is I welcome you all, and I am delighted to see all of your smiling faces. It's been a great week and a great year, and we look forward to hearing from you in just a little while. The next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Will all the Fabian Schools Council people, students, stand up, please? The flag is in the back corner back there, and I would like you all to start the pledge and lead this group in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much for that help. I appreciate it. There is an attendance sheet as you came in, and hopefully somebody from each group will be able to sign that and register your attendance. We appreciate that. The next item is the approval of minutes, and we have a regular session for March 16th and the executive session for March 16th. Bonnie, have you received any corrections or suggestions? Does anyone have any at this time? Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Dan Choi,
Aye.
Jackie Ford,
Aye.
Willard Hook,
Aye.
Molly Ansari,
Aye.
Stephanie Bellino,
Aye.
Larry Kaveen,
Aye. The next item is the recognition awards, presentations, and public hearings. Item one, Viking leaders, the elementary school students that we had with us today, the Fabians. You guys are up first, but we need to hear a little bit more about what's going on. Perhaps our superintendent would like to tell.
Yeah, super excited to have everyone here tonight and share with us. As the board knows, often we recognize students with our Tradition of Excellence Award, and from time to time we have the opportunity to recognize students with the Viking Leader Award. And that's really an award designed to acknowledge students or groups of students that are really doing something out there helping exemplify our vision in our school district and how students are living our vision. And pretty cool to have some elementary kids and some high school kids here tonight who are, I think we're going to see some similar things about the kind of ways that our kids are doing great things to achieve excellence and are empowered to be productive citizens. So what we're going to do, Fabian friends, is we'll have you guys talk first, and then when you guys are done, the board's going to come around and line up right here, and then Mrs. Haugen will call each student's name, and you'll have to come down here and shake everybody's hands, and then we'll do a super cool picture, and it'll be really fun. And then our high school friends, our Key Club friends, after Fabian presents, the board will just stay up here, and Mr. Rogers will come up and brag on you for a little bit, and then we'll do the same thing with you guys. So first, we'll have Mrs. Haugen and our friends from Fabian take it away. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Baird and the board. First of all, I would just like to say thank you for giving us this awesome opportunity to recognize our Viking leaders. Here tonight, we have a representative group of our Fabian Student Council. And the way Student Council works at Fabian is it's an opportunity for our fifth graders. And if they want to be leaders in the school, they sign up to be part of that group. So we have several of our students from Student Council here tonight, along with Meg O'Donnell, who is one of our teacher leaders, and Stephanie Hennig also is a teacher leader for our Student Council, but she is coaching volleyball tonight. So she may fly in the door if that game ends in time. So I just also wanted to say quickly a thank you to our parents for bringing your children out tonight, and for having them ready to go each day, and for supporting their involvement in Student Council at Fabian. It means a lot. One of the reasons that we wanted to recognize this group for Viking leadership this year is because of their incredible partnership with our PTO. So one of our PTO committees relates to that community partnership and community outreach. So would also like to recognize our PTO president, Merritt Nemchik, is here tonight. And our co-chairs for that community outreach committee are Heather Krzora. Heather, I think you're in the house. There she is. And also Sabra Bomberger. Sabra. Soccer? Sabra's at soccer. Okay. So this is really an exciting opportunity for our students to share with you how they have built that partnership this year and made a difference in our community. So I would love to turn the mic over now to the kids. So Fabian Falcons, do you want to come on up?
Hello, we are Hattie,
and Camden,
and welcome to our Fabian Student Council Board Meeting presentation. This year we have had so much fun being a part of the Fabian Student Council. We have done so many amazing things to help our school and community in partnership with our school PTO.
For example, this year we have made hope bracelets, posters, blankets for animals, and we have even sung Christmas songs to the elderly home.
Hi, I'm Addie.
And Taylor.
And today we are going to talk about how Student Council made hope bracelets. We made more than 450 hope bracelets for the student and staff at Annunciation School because this tragedy hit close to home since Mrs. O'Donnell's brother is the principal at Annunciation.
We wanted to tell them that people outside of Minnesota are thinking about them and know that we support them through a horrible tragedy. These students were going through a rough time, and we wanted to say that there is hope for them for a brighter future.
Hi, we are Evie and Valentina, and today we are talking about the Winter Drive. We organized a winter gear drive to support Radical Love, which is a Geneva non-profit organization that helps meet the growing needs of children in our community. During our drive, we had students collect gloves, hats, and scarves to keep those in our area to stay warm in the cold winter months. We collected 84 gloves, 4 scarves, and 45 hats. We encouraged students to help donate if they donated. And if they donated, our PTO generously gave students $1 off at Candy Cane Land, which is one of our PTO fundraisers. We are very thankful for all the donated items.
Remember us? Well, we're back again. But this time we're talking about something a little different. This time we are talking about the soap drive.
Our student council members made a goal at our meeting to collect 150 items of soap, and we achieved our goal by collecting around 175 soap-related items.
Our students helped us reach our goal for Shepherd's Heart Pantry at Chapel Street Church. Our PTO helped promote the event to all Fabian families by sharing our posters and our goal. We are so grateful to have such a great PTO and student body that helps support the Geneva community.
Hi, we are Eli,
Frank, and Evie.
Today we're going to talk about going to Greenfields. When we visited Greenfields, we sang Christmas carols.
We sang Christmas carols, and after all the songs, we colored and got to know the people that live there.
It was super fun to hang out with the residents of Greenfields. And it was really cool to learn about their stories.
It was also really cool for them to share their wisdom with us, too.
Plus, all Fabian students made cards to decorate Greenfields during the holidays. It really helped liven the residents during the holiday season.
Hi, we are
Jacob.
and Harper. Today we will talk about how we created and donated blankets to a local animal shelter.
During the student council meeting, we made cute handmade tie blankets.
We made a bunch of blankets to keep our furry friends warm.
We all had a lot of fun during this activity, like socializing, working together, and all taking part in this project.
Plus, it involved a lot of math that made Miss Henning and Miss O'Donnell very happy.
April is Autism Acceptance Month. As many of you know, Fabian Elementary is home to the Mid-Valley program. Our student council felt it was important to promote awareness, understanding, and acceptance throughout our school community. To support this goal, we created an Autism Acceptance Bulletin Board to help educate and inspire our fellow students. This message we shared on our bulletin board reminds students that people with autism may think differently, notice details others might miss, have strong interests and talents, help make the world more creative and interesting. We want all students to understand that being different can be a strength.
In addition to our bulletin board, we partner with our Mid-Valley friends throughout the year to build connections and promote understanding among students of all abilities. All 5th grade students visit Mid-Valley classrooms throughout the year to participate in activities such as playing games together. These shared experiences help students learn important skills like teamwork, collaboration, empathy, and inclusion. We have 1 month left of student council, but through our partnership with the PTO, we are proud of the positive impact we have made this school year. Thank you for your time tonight.
Why don't you guys have a seat real quick, and we'll hear a few more words, and then we'll have everybody get up in a minute. So good, thank you. It's 100% okay to just hold it too. No, we need it on, I'm sorry. Because they won't hear you on YouTube, which is,
Hello?
I mean,
Reach the whole audience.
exactly.
All right. So I'm Heather Kazora, and I am part of the Fabian PTO. I'm the co-chair for the community outreach. This was one of our things that we wanted to add a couple years ago. We obviously foster a school community, but we wanted to be able to reach outside of the school and make a difference within our community as well, and have the students really make a big, make an impact. So we partnered with the student council as like kind of their point of contact to find places to donate to and things like that. So that way they could understand how they were helping their community just outside of Fabian.
Just on behalf of the Fabian PTO, we're so excited to be here for the presentation of these Viking Leaders Awards. If this partnership has taught us anything, it's that we really are better together. This isn't just about planning events. It's about what happens when parents, teachers, and students come together to make our community a better place. So we couldn't be more proud of the collaboration between the PTO and the Student Council, and just have loved to see that students are at the center of driving this impact in our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so now the board's going to come around.
All right, we're going to have our Fabian Student Council members walk through the line. So, Evie, if you want to stand, kiddos, come on and stand up. And you can walk down the line, and they're going to congratulate you. So, Evie Kuzora, Jacob Bubak, Frank Ramsdell, Taylor Brogan, Hattie McGann, Valentina Salerno, Harper Ibach, Addie Maloney, Camden Nillis, and Eli Nelson. on behalf of our entire student council. So thank you.
Now we'll stay here, Mr. Rogers, if you want to come talk about how some of our older students are doing some of these great, cool things to support citizenship and cultural competency.
I'd like to start by stating the future is very bright in Geneva's Community Unit School District 304. Great job. Yeah. All right, let me start over. I was just saying the future is very bright in Geneva Community Unit School District number 304. Congratulations and great job to those students from Fabian. Like all of you, we have some very active students in one of our most popular, our largest, and like I said, one of our most active service clubs at Geneva High School, and that is the Key Club. The Key Club is actually an offshoot of Kiwanis Club, that is a service organization for adults, and we have had the Key Club at Geneva High School under the umbrella of the Kiwanis Club for many, many years now. And we are bringing students forward tonight to receive the Viking Leaders Award because they attended the Key Club State Convention and competition while they were there, which was held February 20th through 22nd in Springfield, Illinois. And while they were there, so it's a little bit different than some of our other competitions. The students were able to, prior to going to the convention, submit things that they have been doing throughout the year. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, Mrs. Koski, over the course of the last couple of years with the Thirst Project, am I right? Yeah. Sort of. We kind of got a head start on it. But so upon arriving at the convention, I want to highlight a club award that they received. It was a first place award, and it's called the Major Emphasis Award by Key Club. And Mrs. Koski points out, it really belongs to the whole school. We appreciated a partnership that our Key Club had with the student council, and it took a lot of involvement from our student body to earn this award for their efforts. And it was a fundraising project called the Thirst Project, which included our homecoming dodgeball tournament, which was held, and a volley for a cause, which is held this winter during our Winter Spirit Week. And the total money raised to provide water for people in Africa who do not have running water like we all do around here, we raised $5,400. Very impressive amount of money. But more importantly, we won the award because of the number of events that our students committed to for this cause. And for that, I say congratulations to not only our Key Club, but our student council, and we want to give a quick shout out to Emma Cole, our student activities director and student council sponsor, for partnering with our Key Club. And so just a quick shout out and quick explanation about why the club was honored overall at that convention. And then, as I said, while they were there, I was not, while the Key Club was there, we had a number of students earn individual awards for the things that they have been contributing to the club. And so I know everyone is not here tonight. It's a busy time of year, as you can imagine, but we always recognize everybody who receives these awards. So if you are here this evening, please go up, starting with Mr. Choi, and work your way down the line and end up in front of the backdrop here. And then we'll get photos just like the elementary kids did. Starting with Emmy Anderson, who earned a Traditional Year in Review Scrapbook First Place Award, as well as first place for an Advertising Video Award. And you'll hear that some of these were group projects. So as I go along, if you hear repeats, it's because they work together on these presentations. Nora Burke, Traditional Year in Review Scrapbook, also first place. Congratulations, Nora. Ellie Capo, first place for a digital poster. John Chang, Distinguished Secretary of our Key Club. Alexa Koski, one of the 7 participants who attended the convention. Hannah Koski, first place for a digital poster and a Distinguished Freshman Award. Ellie Flax, Traditional Year in Review Scrapbook First Place Award and Distinguished Junior. And shockingly, she worked with her sister, Vivian Flax, earning that Traditional Year in Review Scrapbook First Place Award as well. Amelia Furman earned the honor of achieving 100 hours of service to the club. Reese Gimry, first place in the advertising video competition, and also received an award for the Thirst Project fundraising, a second place award. Mariana Lavoie, a distinguished statistical secretary for the club. Stenner Lubin, Single Service Award, third place, and distinguished treasurer. Ray Monoroctal, first place award for the digital poster. Riker Wynn. Riker earned an award for the Single Service Award, third place, and was named Distinguished Vice President and also achieved 100 hours of service. Skyla Rothar also was part of the team that earned the Traditional Year in Review Scrapbook First Place Award. Nicole Schofield, also a team member in the Traditional Year in Review Scrapbook First Place Award. And finally, Morgan Smith earned the award of Distinguished Senior. And all of these accomplishments would not be possible without the leadership of Mrs. Erin Koski. And now let's have a photo of this fantastic group. Turn to the side a little bit. No photo bombing, guys. You already had your chance. Yes, parents, please come forward. And I'd just like to add, first of all, congratulations and thank you to all of you for your service. And these students are just a small snapshot of what goes on at Geneva High School. And I know some of them are not just Key Club members. Some of them are in Leo's Club. which gives a tremendous amount back to the community as well. And they're part of a student body at Geneva Community High School that really takes great pride in serving, and that will be demonstrated during our Week of Giving, which will take place in late April, here in just a few weeks. So they will be an integral part of that as well, because as I look down the line, they're always giving. They're always working on something, always coming up with a new idea. So for that, I say thank you again and congratulations.
Thank you, everybody, very much. There's going to be a tremendous transportation presentation next from Mr. Johnson, but we know you may have some things to get to as well. So thank you. We're very proud of you. Mr. Rogers, you got some great kids coming, and Ms. Koski, you got some great kids coming for Geek Club. So thank you guys. Have a great night. Congratulations.
I didn't think I was that bad of a presenter. Yep.
So we have Matt Johnson here, and he is the Director of Transportation, and will present the preliminary transportation budget for the coming year.
Yes, very exciting topics to go over. Our transportation team consists of Todd Latham, the Assistant Superintendent, myself, Adrian Ramirez, the Assistant Director of Business Services, Brandy Lanzarata, the Assistant Director of Transportation, Kelly Madden, the Routing and Planning Supervisor, Jeremy Beckman and Fidel Delgado, they are mechanics, Kendall Callahan, our Administrative Assistant, and Philip Carter, our Bus Maintenance Support. For our 26-27 school year, we are anticipating a staffing need of all of our office mechanics and 68 bus drivers and 8 bus monitors, which is, the drivers is about the same as what it was this past year. The monitors are up a little bit. That's becoming a more growing need, but hard to find. Our fleet for this next year, we're projecting 23 72 passenger propane buses, 22 72 passenger diesel, 19 30 passengers, 5 27 passengers, 9 21 passengers with a lift, and 4 activity buses. The change there is we are hoping to get at least 3 more propane buses to get a couple more diesels off. As they're getting older, the repairs that are needed are becoming more extensive and expensive. Our revenue sources for local are $2,928,145, and state revenue is $1,556,100, with a projected total of $4,484,245 coming from property taxes, interest income, rider fees, and that such. Our projected salaries right now, this is a agreement year for the drivers, so we're still hashing that out. But the projected is $2,925,090, and projected benefits of $76,868 for a total of $3,001,958 to cover all of our staff, drivers, mechanics, pension, health insurance. For our professional services, we're projecting a total of $220,075. This is stuff for staff training and making sure that our mechanics and staff are still up to date on all the changing laws that are going on and different vehicles that are becoming on the road. The professional fees with CDL drivers having to renew their license every year and do physicals and stuff like that, that is all covers there. And for our software, this one did go up a little bit. Our software programs, the companies are all starting to move specifically cloud-based, which is increasing the costs, and we have one so far that is pretty much making that jump by the end of this year. And we are working with technology right now on what our options are as far as that goes. Our projected supplies and materials, such as copier, office supplies, fuel, and bus parts, is $395,000. Capital purchases, such as bus purchases and support in the fleet management plan, is $1,010,500. And other services such as dues and fees for their licensing, contingency fund in case an engine or a transmission goes out that we would have to replace entirely. Our other services are $8,000. The contingency is $40,000, and then non-capital, which is for if we need new types of equipment, is $10,000 for a total of $58,000. So as you see, this is the 5 years as it's gone on, and it's kind of fluctuated up and down and usually stayed somewhere around low fours, high $3 million budget. The projected for this year is going to be around the same with, it's going to be less. Sorry, I was looking at the estimated revenue. The total expenses fluctuated up and down each year. This year it is projected to be down about $3 million. Biggest reasons are last year we had the parking lot expansion that took up a lot of the cost. We bought buses that ate up a lot of that cost. So this year the biggest changes are the capital needs have gone down by about $1 million. Supply materials have gone down, but our purchase services is going up a little bit due to cost of more expensive bus repairs that are having to get done and our technology costs going up. And then after the purchase of the new propane buses this last year, we applied for the Illinois Propane Association rebate again. We can only apply for that one for the buses each year. We can only do the propane tank that initial year that it's installed, so the extra tank we added did not qualify for that, unfortunately. But we did receive a $20,000 rebate on the bus purchases that we got that went back into the transportation fund. And the next step is to finalize salaries and benefits, confirm our fund balances, and finalize what our plan is for bus purchases and sales of extra buses. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, how often do you have to replace an engine? I noticed you put that as a contingency.
Since I have been here, we have not.
Yeah.
But we have had 2 buses where the transmission has gone out completely, and it is about an $8,000 to $12,000 cost, depending on if it's a small bus or a big bus.
So my next question, if you don't mind, is so the engine for a propane bus is basically, I know it's different from a diesel, so is that something you anticipate happening with these propane buses that you're proposing to have come online?
We don't anticipate any of them going out. If they did, they are under a 5-year warranty, right, even if they did for the time being, but they are more closely related to gasoline engines, so the cost is less than if we had to replace like a diesel engine, which our diesel engines are the ones that are going up higher in miles right now.
Of course, of course. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? I imagine you're feeling a little prescient to selecting the lower price fuel as opposed to the higher price fuel.
I am
currently.
A little bit right now.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comments. Bonnie, have you received any requests for public comment? No. Would anybody like to say anything right now? It's your chance. Hi, Christine. How are you? Okay, well, we'll press on then. Legislative updates. Jackie.
All right. There's a lot going on in Springfield right now because April 17th is the deadline that the General Assembly has given themselves for any bills that have not been voted on by that date by the entire chamber. Will not move forward in the legislative process. If they do make it past that deadline, they get voted on by the chamber, then they will move over to the opposite chamber. So if it's a Senate bill initially, then it'll move over to the House, and then they'll kind of start that process again where they have committee hearings and floor debate on the bill, some amendments to the language. For my fellow board members, if you're following the IASB legislative updates that we get, they're tracking a few bills. I didn't see too many that were directly affecting us, but I did want to bring up one that Dr. Barrett had mentioned to us. It's House Bill 4416. That is regarding unemployment insurance for educational support personnel. That bill was continuing to move forward from what I could tell by today. I think it's still alive and well, but according to IASB, they are still trying to work on some language and other potential changes that they would like to see in this bill. But a lot of people are weighing in on this one. If you look at the number of witness slips that have been put forward, there's quite a few, and it's almost evenly split on people who are proponents and opponents to it. So just wanted to bring that one to your attention, and then when we meet again at the end of the month, we can see if there's any other important ones that we need to keep looking at that have made it through that deadline. Thank you.
Jackie, can you just repeat that date? What was that again?
April 17th.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Superintendent's report, Dr. Barrett.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. Just a few quick things here. I know we've got a lot to cover tonight, but just want to touch base on a few quick things. It's that time of year. We just had a great spring break, and now we're in the home stretch. I always say, you know, that time leading up to spring break, it's stressful and the weather's kind of lousy, and then all of a sudden after spring break, and it's like you're running downhill. I don't know if you've ever seen the Gloucester cheese roll where people go chasing the cheese downhill, but I feel like that's what it feels like between spring break and the end of the school year. So we're now in that mad dash, and I know it was nice to have a little sunshine today, even though we also had some thunderstorms today, but we're in that mad dash, and the end of the school year is going to be here before we know it. It's also state testing season. You know, we do assessments all year long to try to keep track of our student progress. But this is the time of year where some big high stakes assessments are happening, candidly. You know, it's part of our accountability metrics for the state. It's high stakes tests for our students, especially at the high school level. So, you know, at the elementary, we're taking the Illinois assessment for readiness around this time of year, and that's in English language arts in grades 3-8, math in grades 3-8, and then the Illinois science assessment, which kind of falls under that umbrella, is in grades 5 and 8. And then at the high school, you know, we've talked a lot here at this table in the past about how we were historically taking the ACT, and then the state switched us to the SAT, and now we've switched back to the ACT. And so now we've got a suite going on this time of year. So our grade 9 and grade 10 students, bless you, take a pre-ACT, preparing them and giving them some practice and letting them know kind of where they stand. And then our grade 11 students take the ACT with writing, and that assessment is not only our state accountability test, but also, as you know, that's got some important significance for our students for matriculating on beyond high school. So that's kind of a big, heavy time. We're also lucky to have a lot of ongoing collaboration with our community partners right about now, fitting that Matt was presenting tonight and talked a little bit about the propane buses. This is a training that we held here for local first responders, so they could learn how to use the new learn how to work with the new propane buses, because that's a little bit different for them, and we had first responders kind of from all over the area to come and check those out, and it was cool that we hosted that. But we're partnering with the City of Geneva, the Geneva Park District, and the Geneva Public Library very consistently, working a lot with these 3 local groups, and good things are happening. Some of the library stuff that we've been working on. I've been having some meetings with the city as they're working through some strategic planning like they helped us with, and been partnering a lot with our park district partners too in recent weeks, so that's been pretty valuable. And also just fortunate to have really valuable and ongoing collaboration with our faculty and staff here within the district. As I know we've talked about a lot. We've been working through our negotiation process with the Geneva Education Association and those colleagues, and we're going to have an opportunity to talk about that a little bit tonight. That's gone very well, such a collaborative process. Adam's going to talk a little bit tonight about some of the work we've been embarking on with the support staff committee. We have a lot of ongoing collaboration with the GSSA, the Geneva Support Staff Association, our operations and maintenance team, both GSSA and operation and maintenance. We made some significant changes with them last year, and we're living through those and having some good things happen. And as Matt noted, working through the working agreement with our transportation team right now. So that's a lot of collaboration, but it's all going well, and it's really valuable. So just want to thank our internal partners as well as our external partners. That's all I have for you.
Thank you very much. The next item is board dialogue topics and pending action consideration. Do we have Assistant Superintendent Sims? I don't. Oh, there she is. She snuck around.
All right, thank you. Good evening. Wonderful that we got to start the evening out hearing about some of the wonderful things that our students do outside of the classroom. But tonight I want to talk to you about some of the resources that have been on display that we're looking for approval for adoption for tonight from you, our board members. We have had them on display since the last board meeting. I'm going to share a little bit about what each level is requesting. The first is the elementary, and you might recall at the last meeting we had a large presentation with representative members of our longstanding literacy committee, along with Dr. Premezis and myself. And the recommendation is that we move forward with the purchase of HMH into reading for our K-5 grade level direct instruction, language comprehension, grammar, and writing resource. That is a 6-year contract that breaks out to, as we shared at the last meeting, about $38 per student per year. It is a significant purchase, which I think was represented in the time, the commitment over the last several years to reach that consensus decision. Our middle school this year is not requesting any additional curriculum. We will be coming back at a subsequent meeting to talk about some summer curriculum writing requests that they're seeking as they switch from trimesters to semesters. The high school, there were a number of resources that were shared. They're bringing back a psychology class. They're also going to move one to an AP level or dual credit or both. I think I'll pull that up in just a second. There's also additional text and novels being added to our English repertoire. A graphic novel, the first one, is being added to an English 1 course, as well as topics that are diverse not only in characters but author. That they felt was important to start adding to the traditional canon of text that were being read in the classrooms. We're rolling up some additional curriculum we've been purchasing over the years. Most of those, as you'll recall, are in the World Language Department. We're rolling up the next level of world languages for French and Spanish, and then we're adding a German new adoption. And then there are also some additional resources for previously approved courses. Those are resources that have just been updated because it's a dual credit course and the college has selected a new book, or it's an AP course and a new book is being recommended for that course. Questions on those resources, and then I'll pull up, while you're asking those, the other documents so you can see what was requested.
Dr. Hooks?
Yes. I have a question.
Yes.
So I noticed, and I'm trying to get a point of clarification here. And I was asking Dr. Barrett this last meeting. So we're starting out with a cohort of 15 students. Is that the projection for German? Is that correct?
Per class, maybe.
I just want to make sure I understand. Is that the cohort we're talking about, 15 students?
So that was the cohort for German 1 for this past year.
Okay.
But now for this coming year, there's larger cohort for German 1 at both the middle schools and at the high school. Right.
Correct.
So these textbooks that you, okay, all right.
Yeah. No.
No,
What Mr. Rogers was sharing is there's one section at each middle school. So there's one at North, one at South.
One section at each middle school and a section of German 1 at the high school.
So the books that you're proposing, and I had this question last time. I'm trying to understand. I know we had this very big discussion about whether this should move forward. And so the projection is 5 years. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
What happens when that number drops below 15? If you're going to look at that as a cohort, does it continue to fly? And is that really? I'm just speaking as a person looking at the best use of our tax dollars. You already have books in German right now. Is that correct? You're not buying.
They have a resource, correct?
Exactly. So why are we buying new books if we're not sure if the cohort's really going to be there? In 5 years' time, you might have 7 students. I mean, I'm just trying to understand the cost benefit of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think what we talked about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
I think the rationale from our world language instructors is that these are updated textbooks. The textbooks that we have, and I understand, that German is German.
German's German.
It's what comes with the resources now. So there's our online components. There's live talk components where you can converse with somebody in real time in the world language that you're studying. There's virtual travel kind of experiences with the software programming. So I think they're just looking for it to be equitable to the experiences in the other world languages, so they're not perhaps losing numbers because perhaps those resources are seen as more robust. Could be some of their rationale compared to an antiquated set of textbooks that they've had for.
Yeah.
I don't know, antiquated might be the best term, but are you saying that you're doing this at the expense of some other programs like French? If a person wants to go further in French, are we?
No, so from last year,
Good question.
when this conversation came up, when we were talking about whether or not we were going to continue with 3 languages at Geneva High School, it was decided that we would continue to pursue continuing with German. And in doing so, what we were tasked with was going back to our world language departments at both the middle school and the high school, just those departments, and having conversations about how within those departments they could recruit for the German language. So it wasn't at the expense of another content area outside of world language. It was within world language. So perhaps students who hadn't thought of German before, after hearing the presentation, thought, well, I'll take German as my world language. I'm going to take a world language. These were students who had already identified that they were taking a world language. They just didn't solidify at that time which language they were choosing. So then there were presentations that were given, and from there they selected.
I think I might add context to your question, or what I think I heard was at the expense, are we selecting this curriculum or this resource at the expense of like not being able to select resources for other content areas, right?
Yeah. Because the idea is, well, I just want to make a point, just good clarification. So I'm not saying that last year this time it was on life support, it wasn't really making it that is German as a option, but I don't know what the dollar figure is. I'm just trying to understand if you have students who are falling away from it because it's not really sustainable, that is what the cohort that you're proposing, then you just have books, nobody to teach it. I'm just trying to understand that.
Yeah, so what I think, so the piece that I would add to that, I guess there's two parts I would add. One part is to note that this was kind of one of the questions we had to consider when we were talking about, are we going to continue with German? Because this updated resource, we've already updated to this, basically to this exact resource for Spanish and for French, right? And so German has not had kind of that same level of resource. And that was one of the questions we were kind of asking last year. Like, if we're going to commit to German, then we've got to make sure it has as high a quality resources as our other programs. And because we know that the other thing that we made sure we were acknowledging was, once you start it, we're making a commitment to those kids for at least 5 years. And so that means that if we said no, then that's theoretically 5 years worth of, resources that aren't as rigorous as in the other two world language, or aren't as updated, I guess, with as many of the features and technical capacities as in the other two world language programs. I would also add, and I appreciate how this can kind of come across, but when we're looking at the cost, the value proposition of the amount of resources that we would need and the amount of money it would cost, because it is a relatively small program, the cost is also relatively small. So it's kind of a good bang for your buck situation. Like we're getting a robust resource for not as much money. I mean, I think I would say candidly, for example, the HMH into reading for the elementary level. If we weren't sure that we were going to be teaching reading at elementary for the next 5 years, which obviously is a ridiculous statement to say, but if we weren't confident that we were going to be able to keep going with that, we would not be proposing a purchase of something that costs that much. But given the relatively small size of the program, that means also a relatively small cost. Fair enough? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I will say that there was a sense about the high school, and even to some extent at the junior high, that if we're going to be a world-class high school, we're going to have to offer more than just 2 languages. And that was one of the things that led to the decision to support German. And I think that the staff has risen to the occasion, which is pretty obvious given the larger enrollments that we have at this time. I also had a chance to review the books upstairs. There's a lot of them there. Holy cow. It looks like a really good program, though. I can see why you're excited about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think all under number 7. Now, Dr. Law has a few.
Well, actually, let's see. We have to approve the first item. I think we have to approve each of these separately because they're about different groups.
Okay.
And so we could have a motion and a vote to approve what Dr. Sims has presented. If someone would like to do that?
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Now, Dr. Law.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So this is our annual process. The next 3 resolutions for honorable dismissal are part of our annual process of trying to make sure that we are appropriately staffed for the next school year. So the resolutions address both part-time and select certified staff and part-time and select support staff for honorable dismissal. And again, these the reasons for the dismissal and the staffing uncertainties have to do with potential enrollment, and we'll see how that kind of becomes more finalized as the spring goes on. We have issues that with grant funding and some of these positions being funded by grants. Also positions that were hired either mid-year or, for instance, a teacher who was hired to cover a full year leave of absence. So, as we go into later into the spring and into the summer, we are able to kind of finalize what the new FTE is for the next school year and start to bring these staff members back as we are able. And of course, this process very much fits with our district strategic plan of right-sizing staffing with enrollment.
Thank you, very good. So we have a situation here where we have actually 3 different motions required, and the first one would be the annual resolution of dismissal for part-time select educational support personnel. And if someone would like to make such a motion, if this is too complicated, I can do it. Anybody? Okay, I'll make the motion to proceed with the dismissal of the part-time select educational support personnel. I think that reading curriculum is in order.
Second.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next item is a similar motion for part-time and select certified staff. And I will make the motion to proceed with that dismissal action.
Second.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next is a dismissal reduction of force for the dismissal and reduction of force, although it's overall reduction. Sorry about that. I got ahead here. But the motion is to approve the dismissal for reduction in force. Item 4 on your agenda.
Second.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, I would say that this is one of those things that we do that's a little bit difficult, and we look forward hopefully to the return of every one of these people in the fall. So item 8, the work study topics, sports staff certification and compensation study. Assistant Superintendent Adam Law will share. I had that same problem today with my computer.
Okay, good evening, Board of Education.
You're too tall, Dr. Law. You gotta have that. Gotta get that closer to your mouth.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight about an ongoing project that we've had related to the support staff that are under the educational support staff working agreement. This project really, Dr. Barrett and I started discussing the potential of this project really about year and a half or so ago, coming out of the last kind of working agreement process with the support staff, and trying to look at ways to really maybe restructure our support staff and take a look at the alignment of their compensation, especially in comparisons with other districts and other data, and also take on the task of creating and or improving their job descriptions. And if I was a space bar, let's see. Okay, there we go. So here's just a little bit about the project overview. So we engaged AJ Gallagher. We already had a relationship with Gallagher because they are the ones that oversee our insurance cohort, but we engaged the human resources consulting side of their organization for assistance with this project. So really what we asked them to do was evaluate just the design and effectiveness of our current pay structures, which really are something, am I not loud enough, Robin? Okay. All right.
You're a natural with a microphone, Dr. Ball. Just embrace it.
Just because our the structures that we have had in place, especially with our salary structure, really have that has been our paradigm for as long as I think anyone can remember. So we also engaged all of our support staff with collecting information from them as far as their job responsibility and essential duties, and had their supervisors review that information as well in order to create new job descriptions. We also wanted to look at relevant benchmark data in both other school districts that we feel like we are comparable to, along with other published data as well. And then Gallagher agreed to then kind of look internally at those pay structures and those kind of the equities between those, and see if we could benchmark those things to again to some market-driven data. So just a little bit about where we're at. We started this project in August of 2025, and it really started this past fall with engaging all of our support staff that are under the working agreement with asking them through a survey, a job analysis questionnaire, to just kind of give us all their essential tasks and skills, necessary maybe credentials and backgrounds, and then we took all that submitted data and had the supervisors review it as well, and currently we've gone back and forth with Gallagher a couple times as we have been working to finalize those job descriptions. Also in the fall, we identified some area school districts that we thought that we wanted to reach out to have them fill out what was a pretty exhaustive questionnaire about their compensation information for like positions for their support staff as well. And you know, many of them were in Kane County. There were a couple in other places that we reached out to as well. And I am very grateful for those school districts that did respond to the survey because it was a fairly exhaustive request. So once that data was collected, it was submitted to Gallagher, kind of simultaneously as we were working on the data piece. You know, we've been working on the job descriptions as well. And what we just received, as far as where we are from Gallagher, are their proposed restructuring for our support staff that are under the working agreement, which we'll talk about here this evening.
Adam, could I jump in for a second?
Yep.
And just point out, if you backed up one, sorry. I think it's important to know that this is kind of a two-part, I don't know why I'm popping so much today, Robin, I'm sorry. A two-part kind of process. The job description and validation and drafting, that's because, you know, we wanted and needed to update and modernize our job descriptions for the employees, you know, represented by this, you know, working group. And then the market data collection and the structure alignment, that's another piece that's happening. And so at the end of this, we're coming out with two separate things that we think are going to be very valuable and helpful for the district. But I do want to point out that, you know, like the job description part isn't necessarily, you know, prescriptive for the market and structure update part, if that makes sense, right? Like the job description, that's one goal of this process, and the structural update is another goal of this process. And so want to make sure that that's kind of clear to everybody. Is that fair, Adam?
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you, Dr. Barrett. So current state assessment. So as far as the market benchmarking approach, Gallagher looked at two sets of published data. One was from the comp analyst, and the other was from the Economic Research Institute. And then we reached out to, I think, 12 total school districts, and were able to get responses from 8 of those 12. And as you can see, the majority of them are in Kane County, but we also connected with Lake Zurich, which is a school district that's we've always viewed as fairly comparable to Geneva. And then also some school districts that were maybe what we would consider, as far as compensation goes, maybe a little bit more of a reach district. So looking at Barrington 220 and also Elmhurst 205. And once the data was identified and collected, Gallagher did essentially kind of trend those compensation pieces to January 1, 2026, and they've made recommendations for, okay, what should that, what would that look like? What would that compensation look like next year if kind of every other school district is likely also giving some type of a range? Oh, sorry, raise. I apologize. And so what Gallagher found was that Geneva 304 is around 7%, 7.2 to be exact, percent below the market median from a base pay perspective. We're just a little bit higher, 1.6%, when we're at that 25th percentile, but kind of overall, we're below that median by a little over 7%. As far as the actual summary, and I'm going to step out here for a second. So what they were looking at was kind of this median target for this is where kind of we want to be for these different positions to be competitive. And the color coding is how misaligned positions are. So if it's greater than 15% misaligned, that's that yellow color. 10 to 15% is that orange, and then kind of well aligned is that green, and highly aligned is with that blue. And of these circles are related to how many incumbents, how many staff members are within those various roles. And so overall what Gallagher identified is that not only kind of overall were we a little bit, we're about 7% behind there from that median, but some of our lowest paid employees in this group were the most misaligned with that median. And so some of those positions, some of our reading tutor positions, some of our other classroom assistant positions, hallway monitors were most misaligned in comparison with that data from those other districts, along with those published sources. So some of the key findings that they found were, some kind of fragmented pay structures. There really wasn't great unification as far as different roles and kind of being grouped together. They were a little bit sporadic, and I think that is just because that's how things just kind of grew on top of each other over time. Is not internal leveling where someone could look at these various positions and potentially see a career pathway to kind of see a progression forward in where they might be wanting to grow in their career. And there were no range design standards. There was really no kind of logic behind which kind of roles how they equated to other roles, and even within those roles, kind of what those ranges are. And additionally, what they found was that there was kind of this inconsistency with similar roles, but they were in different structures. And some of them, for instance, were related to just how many months of the year a particular role worked. So, for instance, if I was a 12-month administrative assistant, I usually that position usually made about $2.50 to $3 more than a 9 or 10-month administrative assistant, even though they were doing very similar roles. So they saw that just there's kind of that inconsistency there.
Could I jump in one more, Adam? I'm sorry. I think one thing that's kind of important to note in all of this, and one of the things we talked about a lot in the work with this group, both over this year and in previous iterations of this group, that that we've talked about over time. As Adam said, the reason this is so necessary and is going to be so helpful in the long run is because the old system just kind of grew organically and built up as were kind of a growing district, right? And the structure that we had, I mean, one way we've talked about it a lot, and a way to think about it is that structure kind of existed when the support staff in the district was maybe a handful of people, right? And then you'd add a new role or add a new thing, and then you'd try to tack it on, and then add another new role or and try to tack it on. And then it just kind of got too complicated to the point where a system that was built for a handful of people now represents hundreds, and that internal leveling or range standards, that wasn't in place. And so I think that's that key thing that's going to be valuable here and important to understand as context.
Yes, thank you. So here is Gallagher's proposed structure. Essentially, they took kind of a 5-step process, which was, again, looking at that market data and then using that market data to create the grades, the job grades, which I will go into in a second. Then also looking at range design. So again, between grades, kind of what would be the percentage kind of differences, and then within a range, what would be the kind of the min, medium, and max. And then job slotting as well, trying to take those positions and where it made sense and where the data suggested to try to lump those together. And ultimately then for some of these, not for all, but for some of these positions, kind of being able to point to a career pathway as the grades increase. So what Gallagher did was they took the market median kind of best fit. So they looked at all that data and looked at what various positions from the data from both the published data along with the survey responses from the various districts, looked at what various positions, kind of what the median pay rate was, and that was kind of their starting point for how they created these 13 grades. So they took these positions, put them on a 13 grade kind of structure here, and you can see that we start with grade 1, and then it would progress all the way through grade 13. And when we talked about those ranges before, between each grade is essentially a median increase of around 7%, and from the minimum of a grade to the maximum is about a 45% range. So if you started, let's say the minimum was $20, maybe the maximum would then be $29. It was a 45% increase. And you can see from some of those positions how there is, for some of those roles, kind of a path where kind of the increase in complexity and experience needed, does kind of increase for some of those roles. So Gallagher's recommendation as far as, if we're looking at a 2-year process with this and a 2-year working agreement, is to essentially, do one kind of general percentage increase for all the employees that are under the working agreement. And then essentially, if anyone then is still under what the minimum is for their grade, to bring them up then to a minimum, to at least the minimum. So essentially, first there'll be kind of a baseline percentage is what they're suggesting across all these positions. But then if someone is still below what their minimum is for their grade, to then additionally bring them up to that minimum. Lastly then, they suggest, they are recommending that there's some type of years in service positional adjustment, where essentially every employee that has been within, not their time with the district, but their time in a particular role, they would get a differential based on their years of experience. So for instance, if we gave that first general pay increase, let's say to all of our reading tutors, but then some tutors were still below the minimum for their grade, then after that percentage raise, they would be brought up to that minimum. But as you can imagine, then there could be some reading tutors in there that are a year 1 and a year 6 who now are all at that, potentially at that same minimum. So then that year of service position raise would be applied to differentiate the reading tutor that's in year 1 from the reading tutor that's in year 6. What this does do, should the board approve this, would be essentially it would eliminate the salary schedule as is. You know, the grades would now be the structure that we would be using, and of course, should the board approve this proposal, you know, in year 1, the raises would be variable. You know, some people would just get the base. You know, some people would get the base plus the minimum, and then others would get the base plus the minimum plus, you know, additionally those years in service changes as well. And then Gallagher suggested that in year 2, kind of that same, kind of an equal percentage raise is given to all employees. So essentially, after year 1, year 2, everyone just kind of moves forward with that same percentage. So what, if any, questions might there be tonight?
Questions?
And could I add also,
of course,
we'll have then an opportunity in closed session to talk about some of the specifics of the system. But we wanted to make sure that we shared this part publicly because it's important.
I just want to make a comment. Having been a part of the group in the previous agreement with this working group, I am so happy that we're doing this. I was looking through that key findings and the fragmented pay structure, no interval leveling, and inconsistent schedule treatment. Those were some of the biggies that we sat in the room and like, how do we tackle this? Because it has been just kind of this fragmented system that we piled on as we got bigger as a district, and having an outside expert come in and help us put this all together. I know it was a lot of work for the staff to have to fill out that information. I've been through one of these in my day job, and it was not fun, but I'm really happy that we have this information and that we can really compare it to how other districts are doing it, and then get our arms around how this is. So thank you for all the work that you did on this.
Thank you, Jackie.
Anyone else? Thank you, Dr. Law. The next items for information only. Item 1 would be board meeting presentation schedule. Item 2 would be FOIA requests and board correspondence. And no discussion is required, but if anybody has any questions, I'll entertain them at this time. Okay, and that gets us to my favorite part, the consent agenda. Item 1, personnel report, resignations, retirements, leave requests, changes in assignment, full-time equivalent, new hires. Item 2, Mid-Valley Special Educational Cooperative Classroom Use Agreement. Item 3, Northwestern Illinois Association Service Agreement. Item 4, gifts, grants, and bequests, $1,100, Kane Excellence in Education Partnership for a teacher wish list item. Item 5, gift, grants, and bequests, $3,000, Gene Haas Foundation for GHS Robotics Club. They do pretty well on these requests. Item 6, 25-26 board meeting calendar update. And item 7, 26-27 student fees. Any questions or discussion at this time?
Who gave the approval for Mr. Baker's retirement?
Has anybody told him that? Okay. Anything else? Thanks, Dan.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Item 11 is the board member comments and reports. Shall we start with Stephanie?
Sure. First, I wanted to just say congratulations and thank you to all of our students. Wonderful to see a night full of service recognition, and I know our students work very hard, not only the ones we recognize in the room today, but throughout the district. So thank you for all of our kids and families who make that a priority. Thank you to everyone who presented tonight. It was a lot of useful and helpful information. Specifically, I am on the support staff committee, so thank you to Adam and Dr. Law and the whole team who who worked on that. Like Jackie said, that has been a long time coming. I've been on that committee for a few years now, and it really streamlines everything, and it should be really helpful going forward. We did have a policy committee meeting, so just heads up that there will be some policies coming during the next meeting that we passed on to you all. So you're welcome to watch the meeting for more information. Not too many big changes, mostly legal references and things like that, but more to come on that one. And then the last piece for Theater Boosters, they did have a meeting tonight, so obviously Paul and I are not there, but they do have their spring musical coming up. It's going to be Chicago, April 23rd through the 25th, so get your tickets now. There are 2 shows on that Saturday. There's also a thing that the high school is doing along with the theater department, and they're going to do a dinner in between the 2 shows, and then there's going to be an opportunity for tours of the high school and things like that to kind of celebrate their anniversary that they're celebrating this year as well. So just a fun kind of cross, just a relationship there to celebrate those 2 things. So if you're available on Saturday, come see the show and stay for a spaghetti dinner afterwards. That is all I have.
That's not this weekend.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The 25th,
Yeah.
yes. April 23rd through the 25th. So if you're available on April 25th, that's the last day of the show.
Dr. Hooks.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, again, thank everyone that was involved with the Leadership Award. That is the younger grade students and the high school students. I did not know about the Hope bracelet, so this was good to know that they made this for Annunciation School after that tragedy in Minnesota. What I saw with the young children as well as the older students is that they embracing what some people don't find out until they're adults, being a part of something bigger than themselves. You know, sometimes we say that in the military, but other organizations, but at a very young age, they're gaining a sense that there's something bigger than themselves, and that is really encouraging at a young age. I can't say I did something like that when I was younger, but it is a formation, a piece of formation for themselves, because despair dispels all hope, and just the fact that collectively these students are, even though they may not look at it that way, but they are getting rid of the despair of many people, and they can come in many forms. I want to thank the transportation presentation because it offered clarity for all of us, and I'm glad to know that we're doing our diligence to do what we can to be good stewards for the taxpayers, and also to make it it seems a more welcoming environment for the workers, because they have the support of the district, knowing that they have equipment and things that are not going to necessarily present more problems for themselves. Also want to thank the presentation for literacy, and using a very specific term. I appreciate the cohesion, if you understand what I'm saying. That's an education term, but the idea is I can see now the cohesion that you're bringing into this, and that wasn't necessarily clear, but I can see it now, so it's a good thing. That's a wonderful thing. So thank you, Jackie, for giving us more insight on the House Bill 4416, is it? I won't look forward to reading more about that. And yeah, so that's my 39 cents. Inflation corrected.
Go ahead.
Thanks. Wanted to start out first with the students we saw tonight. It was a wonderful evening. I had the unique opportunity to have my oldest started at Fabian when it opened, when she was in kindergarten, and to see the amazing things that school has grown since those times. So the student council, I was involved in the PTO during those years, but to see how much more that they do now, it's cool. It's for me to be able to see that. Not everyone gets to see the growth of a new school, and it's not new anymore, but that was really special to me tonight, to see all those special things that they have done for our community and outside our community, for other students across the world. Also want to thank our presenters tonight for the information they share with us. Everything that you bring to us is important, and it's good to know, and food for thought, and like the entire picture of what our district is doing. So thank you for your time putting those together. Dan and I did have an intergovernmental task force meeting that we attended, and learned a little bit more about some of the things with our Geneva partners that are happening, and things that Dr. Barrett is working through with them right now. So that was a good meeting. We also had a GEA meeting, which we'll talk a little bit more about in closed session. That was a very productive meeting that we had last week. So I think that's all I have. I want to share. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Molly.
I really don't have anything to add that hasn't already been said. I really enjoyed our presentations tonight. I took note of the service our students are providing inside of our schools, in our community, neighboring communities, school in Minnesota, communities in Africa, like pretty amazing. So I just, a big shout out to our students and those who lead them to be motivated to do that, to find excitement and to take joy. Dan nudged me when the students were taking their photos, the Fabian Student Council, and the grins were just, they were so, one little one was just like as big as he could grinning. And I think that's a testament to our community and instilling that within our students, which I think is pretty phenomenal. But to echo everybody else in the presentations, Dr. Law, what you shared, and what Gallagher was able to help us see, and strategies to implement more equity and fairness to our employees and to the negotiations that sound like are going well. Really exciting stuff to hear. So thank you to everyone.
Yeah, I really don't have anything much to add to what everyone else said. They said it much better than I ever could. The only thing I have to add is the good luck to our students this week and their testing.
It's true, I wait till last because then there's nothing left to say. I can hardly wait to hear what student gets to sing Mr. Cellophane in the musical, which I will look forward to. And as usual, we have a lot of students doing a really wonderful job. And to say the negotiations have gone well, it would be an understatement. It's a pleasure to see you out here this time. Some new faces, and of course our standard face as well. But she might as well get on the board. I mean, in any case, the next item on the agenda is notices and announcements. There's nothing there, and that leaves us at executive session, which is where we throw you out. So we will look forward to the next time we meet. Actually, if you want to stay, I'll read the executive session thing, which is a real thrill.
Real joy.
Be-
Yes.
Take care. So I will just charge ahead for a second here. Executive session to consider matters pertaining to collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees and their representatives, or deliberations concerning the salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, appointment, employment, compensation, or discipline, performance, or dismissal or of specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee, specific individual who serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or a volunteer of the public body, or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. However, a meeting to consider an increase in compensation of a specific employee that is subject to the Local Government Wage Increase Transparency Act may not be closed and must be open to the public and posted and held in accordance with the Act, the setting of price for the sale or lease of property owned by the public body, and that's it. So we need to go into executive session. I think we'll just start with a break first if anybody wants to take a few-minute break. If nobody needs to.
I think we need a motion.
Yeah, I know.
I'll make, oh, sorry.
We do that, but I was just going to determine whether we need a break or not.
Oh.
Or can we just go ahead?
I'll take a quick break too, please.
All right, well then let's, you can all take your break and then we'll go into executive session.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Okay.
Second.
If you insist. Yeah, it's fine.